Hello, people. Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk. I'm your host, Nathan, and I've got my co-host with me, Spencer. Hello, Spencer. How are you?
What's going on? That's new. I didn't ever hear that before, but maybe I'm not here in the beginning.
Hear what?
The message on Zoom saying recording in progress, and then they had a.
Oh, no. It's, I don't know, it's something to do with voice, something. That voice up today. Right. So we'll make a start with the shock news. Well, it shouldn't be so shocking that the Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury fight is now cancelled.
Yes. That's crazy. I really want Tom to be on this while we talk about this, but listen.
We can move on. In fact, we can move on to something else. And then when he gets here, we can bring it up.
Let's talk about your favorite fighter first then.
All right, so in shocking news, the worst fight I've ever seen this year, or possibly in my life, Manuel Charr against TBE Chris Lovejoy. What shit was this?
I don't even know. Lovejoy looked severely out of shape. Charr didn't look great, but he did the job. What was it? The second round, right?
Second round, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the first
crazy.
round, he gets knocked. He kind of falls over and starts crying. And I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah, it's crazy. He got paid $200,000 for that fight too.
What? To look like an idiot? Oh my god!
What are we talking about?
Manuel
the Lovejoy
Charr
fight.
The Lovejoy what?
The Lovejoy fight.
Lovejoy fight against Manuel Charr.
And Don King wants a piece of that? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a load of dog shit, wasn't it? I mean, he was a guy who was so skinny out of shape. He looked like he looked like he didn't even know how to throw a punch.
Well, he was working his jab and he was trying to land the right hand, but he was so out of shape.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. He looked so much out of shape. You could see that maybe if there was, he's too old, but there might have been some type of chance for him to have some type of skill set. But he was out of shape. You couldn't really tell in that fight. He got demolished early. I
mean, just think about what it's like mentally to be under the thumb of Don King.
Yeah. Yo, I feel sorry for Amir Mom. I thought he was on the come up because he was on a few cards with Errol Spence when they were both, prospects or whatever.
So
and
anyway,
then,
that's off. That's kind of off topic.
Yeah. That was
so Manuel Charr is meant to be has 120 days, I believe, to fight Trevor Bryan. And I tell you what, from what I've seen of it, I don't think he'd beat Trevor Bryan. To be honest,
he won't.
Trevor Bryan's a good fighter.
I don't think he'd beat Trevor Bryan either.
And Chris Lovejoy can come to England and take a few beatings if he wants to, I'm sure he can get a few fights in England.
He can fight David Price.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Fight. Yeah.
I'd like to see him get in shape, though, and to see if he can actually do something. Because, you said, Spencer, there was something there that just wasn't brought out.
Yeah.
If he was in shape, I think we would have seen a different fight. I'm not.
He could have possibly gave us a few rounds, some highlights or something.
But based on that, he wouldn't beat Dave Allen at all.
He can't. He can't beat that guy. Go ahead.
No, in all fairness to him, he did get hit behind the head.
Yeah.
If you noticed, he did get hit, and that rocked him. He turned away from a punch, and then he caught a right hand to the back of the head. So
I hope we never see this bum again. I mean, he should just go back to fighting those bums in Mexico. Embarrassing himself.
You know what I was thinking? What's the guy's name that I think Jermaine Franklin fought him a couple of fights back? He was Lydell Thomas, right?
Lydell
Booker, wasn't it Booker?
Lydell Booker, right? Lydell Booker, right? Yeah. Him. He could fight somebody like that.
I don't think he'll even be at that standard. Seriously.
No, he might not be able to beat Booker, but I'm just saying, he might be able to get another fight. That might be a fight opened up for him or something.
Okay. And Manuel Charr can stop parading around with his fake belt. Right, let's all move on to the most important news. The Anthony Joshua unification fight with Tyson Fury has now been cancelled thanks to that arbitration thing.
Well, it's not actually canceled yet.
It's canceled, Tom.
I thought well, that was a different story. They had 48 hours from the WBO to rectify the situation.
You can spend all show on this if we have to.
Listen, Tom, I mean, this is the thing that people may be forgetting or not realizing on a lot, especially on social media. They talk about, why can't Wilder just take a step aside and get a guarantee for the winner? Now, that seems simple, but you know that that's not like that because they got to redraw all the contracts. Everybody got to go through the contracts.
That
ain't going to take no 48 hours.
No.
So you know, like, and they got all agree on it. And these are parties that weren't too friendly to begin with. Right. And we're expecting them to, and AJ got to be saying, okay, AJ might not want to fight Wilder next. You know, he has to agree to that too. He don't have to agree to Wilder. He don't have no obligations for Wilder. So he doesn't look like the bad guy at all in this situation. Team AJ, they don't look like the bad guy at all. There's some people.
Arum has egg on his face.
Yeah, there's some people that are trying to like attach blame to Wilder, and I'm even hearing some crazy nonsense theory on Wilder, Team Wilder and Bob Arum was in cahoots together to work on upstaging Eddie. I'm like, so wait. Wait, I'm like, so if that's the thought, and this is because somebody at Top Rank said a couple of days before the arbitration ruling that Fury had a July pay-per-view. Now, that's the evidence that they're basing on the theory of them working in cahoots. But I'm like, yo, listen, this is getting people emotional because that requires them to be working together. So that means that all of the stuff that was going on was staged. Everything, the glove gate, the spiked water, the firing Mark Breland, the I'm not going nowhere, and the contract, all of that was staged because they was planning on trying to clout chase AJ. Like, that doesn't even make sense, man.
No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm like, I think it's real simple. Bob took a gamble to set up the fight. Tyson Fury's contract that he signed when he left when Tyson Fury left the rematch, the first fight with Wilder and wound up signing a $100 million 5-fight deal. He got Schwartz out of Whalen, which didn't make any money, but still had to pay Fury on an average of $15 million a fight. That wasn't no $15 million fights, neither one of those. And then he had to do Wilder in a cross promotion. So that means he had to split what they thought was what they were going to get. They didn't get. So he had to even split that in half with another outfit in Fox. They didn't make money on the Fury investment. And so their theory is that the thought was that in cahoots so that they could build up the revenue for knowing that they had to have the trilogy anyway. They was building up, interest in it because nobody was going to want to fight. And, they got everybody anticipating the Undisputed. But I'm like, that theory don't even work because most people that was anticipating the Undisputed was from the UK because it was all British. It wasn't that many people in America that the fight is now going to be that's now drawing interest. Like, it's crazy. Stephen A. Smith is on TV begging Wilder to step aside and come on, man. That's how it works.
Did they actually offer him $20 million?
They did, yeah. And he turned it down flat. The fucking idiot. He should have just taken it. Hello?
I'm not paying that. Let's go. But then want to pay $20 million to AJ to fight in a bare knuckle fight on Twitter. Like, come on, man. You sounded silly, man. You sounded silly. And then
this is all a circus sideshow. I mean, they were standing to make so much money together. Why would they need all these conspiracy theories? It doesn't
Right.
make any sense, you know.
And this is the thing. Like I said, I think Aaron was gambling on the arbitration possibly going his way. Tyson Fury let the cat out the bag too early, because I don't think that they was going to release that news until they knew the verdict. Tyson Fury got on social media on his Instagram or Twitter or something and was like, I just spoke to the Saudi Crown Prince. The fight is a goal, August 14th or whatever the case is. And when he said that, all outfits ran with what he said. Like, the fight is a goal. That they considered that like a quasi official announcement. So they ran with it.
I saw that video, Spencer, and Fury looked like he had been drinking.
Yeah, he did. He did look like he was like out of sorts. But because I was saying, I'm like, yeah, I'm saying this. I'm like, yo, Fury might, especially with the backlash that he's getting, he's not the love anymore in a lot of people's eyes.
If we don't see this fight soon, Joshua will lose. If we do not see it soon, because
who is he going to lose to? Usyk?
Well, he will lose
to Usyk.
He'll just have like he did before.
What fight would you want to see? Undisputed or Fury AJ?
Fury AJ. Fury AJ. All day, yeah.
So all day and all of the night.
Oh, wait. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. AJ being one of the people in Undisputed, because Fury Wilder fight, people act as if they wouldn't be interested in seeing a Wilder AJ fight, and it's like the only good fight out there would be AJ and Fury. Now, for the Brits, I could see that, but like it's like I don't see a bigger difference. Like, this is not that big of a drop off if Fury was to fight Wilder next and Wilder wins and then goes fight AJ, and Fury and AJ fight now. Well, I think it'll still be just as big.
Do you think this trilogy, the third match, will be better than the second one, or you think it'll be a different fight? Because I was seeing some footage of Wilder, and
looking
he was
good,
throwing
right?
left. He looked good, but he's throwing left hooks, and I didn't see that much on it. But he is trying to change. I could tell he's trying to change and throw more combinations. But if he does that, he's going to square up against Fury, and that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Whereas against him.
He can't utilize hitting him starting out with trying to throw those left hooks. That got to be something that comes after he already clipped him with something else.
Yeah,
if you get what I'm saying, like he can't.
No,
lead
I
with a
totally
left
get
hook.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
so,
but he's looking good moving.
Do you think he could change his style? I mean, I don't know if he can at this point.
Nah, he's what he has to do. I've always said this: Wilder isn't as bad as people make him out to be. Because I've seen
he was bad.
No, I'm not saying you, but like there's people that say he's the worst boxer. He can't fight at all. He's trash. Now I think he leaves a lot to them.
He's got the highest percentage of knockouts in the heavyweight division.
And you have to set those up. Because the people he's fighting are professional fighters that have been through the ropes and had amateur experience. So they should be able to know how to move out of a punch that's not a good punch.
Right.
So anyway, Tom, the ridiculousness that people say, I'm like, y'all don't really think things through when y'all say it, because there's other questions that you have to ask yourself when you come up with a thought. Like, you got to follow the thought all the way through, not just have the thought, it sounds good, so let me just say it and use it as gospel and think it's gospel just because I thought it without thinking it through.
Well, a famous man once said, "You don't know shit about boxing."
Yes, he did. and like, because I tell people, I'm not no big boxing insider in gyms and know a bunch of people behind the scenes. I just do my best to take an objective look at what is being presented and try to do my best to take an objective viewpoint on it. Have a educated opinion. Let me gather all the information.
So Nathan, what's your opinion here?
My opinion is that if this fight isn't going to happen, I think Fury should be able to vacate the belt or be upgraded to franchise champion or if he does vacate, then Wilder should have another fight in the interim. What they should do is let the fight happen, and and offer to vacate the belt after the fight. But as that option's not available, what I think will happen is now I think I could see Joshua fighting White as an option, but then again he has. But then again, Joshua has 48 hours to turn it around to sort it out. Otherwise, he will either vacate or be stripped. If this,
I don't see how he could turn it around.
But he'll probably end up vacating the belt. Then we'll have to wait another 20 years for an undisputed fight.
I think AJ going to fight Usyk. I honestly don't think AJ is scared of any of the guys.
Of course he's not.
No, he's not. Why should he be scared?
Yeah, it's just that
But would it make sense for, say, if this fight can't happen, then if Usyk takes some more steps up and he can fight Dillian White for a vacant WBC title, then the winner of that has to fight Wilder, which is for me as an option. And Fury can have another fight in the interim.
If the fight is not going ahead, undisputed, then AJ might as well get Usyk out the way. Don't have him fight somebody else and step aside so he could do something else.
If he was to fight Dillian White and Fury,
who fight Dillian White?
Yeah, Anthony Joshua, that could be a possibility. I know it's a long shot, but they could upgrade Fury to franchise champion and have Dillian White fight Anthony Joshua for a vacant WBC belt, and then have Wilder fight Fury.
That would require a lot of skating the rules, because right now Dillian White is a champion. He's an interim champion, but he's a champion. So that means he's not ranked by any of the divisions that AJ has a title in.
But they can swerve that. We know that all these organizations comes to unification.
Now, what you're saying is that Wilder, who doesn't want franchise champion and has made it publicly clear he don't want that designation, has to fight for a franchise champion belt instead of the belt that he lost. And he would have to be okay with that.
Well, I don't see any possibility. That's the only two possibilities. Two people take step aside of me. Fury fights Wilder, like I said, and then he fights Dillian White for a vacant belt, and then Usyk gets paid off. And then after the fight, Joshua can vacate either the WBO or the WBC, because they don't have a lot of options.
Well, we're assuming both men win their next fight.
Yeah, I mean, AJ has a chance to beat Usyk. Usyk has a chance to beat AJ.
Oh, a very good chance. That's why it's too dangerous.
Somebody put this on me, like somebody had put this up that I was hearing. Derek Chisora gave Usyk a little, I ain't gonna say he was in the threat of winning, but he gave Usyk all he could handle, right?
Right.
AJ don't fight like Derek Chisora though.
No, he doesn't.
No.
And AJ is more straight up and down. Derek Chisora throws punches, like goes to one side, throws punches from the other side. Like he does a lot of different things that will confuse people. You know what I'm saying? Or make it hard for people. He gave Klitschko a tough fight, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and that was the better Klitschko. So, he's a different mode. So, like when people judging how Usyk looked against Chisora and how he might look against AJ is something different. Now, AJ did look good against Ruiz.
But Usyk is better than what we're seeing. I know he is. He just hasn't had the right opponent.
I don't think size-wise, he's going to be able to defeat him because he's going to be moving away a lot. He's not going to fight. I mean, how is he going to win this fight? He's going to have to score a lot of punches if he's going to win a decision, or he's going to have to knock him out.
You talking about Usyk?
I don't see either one of those things happening with AJ.
Because once he comes inside or something, and he put on a whole bunch of weight. So unless he's comfortable fighting with all those extra pounds, because I heard he's at like what, 240? Did I see that? 240?
Yeah.
I'm like, so him. Yeah, so he's gonna have to be able to carry that weight and stay away from AJ's power.
Right.
He
Just
could
because
probably
you
stay
add weight.
away for 7-8 rounds, and then Joshua would take over and knock him out late.
Exactly. I think so too. I think that'll be how it plays out. Joshua would get rid of him at the end. Unless, of course, Usyk clip him with something that Ruiz clipped him with, and then AJ might try to stay away. And
let's
then,
be honest, AJ hasn't got a great
chin. I have to put myself on mute for a second. Hold on.
All right.
So Joshua hasn't got a great chin, as we know.
Yeah, he got clipped. He's been down on the canvas a couple of times, but hey, so has Tyson.
He's a good fighter, but again, Joshua can outbox you or he can outmuscle.
Now, I will say this though. Anthony Joshua has never been on a canvas as hard as Tyson Fury has been on.
Oh no, cool, because he wouldn't get back up. Because we know.
Now, mind you, Tyson Fury did get hit with a harder punch. A harder puncher than what Anthony Joshua got hit with. But
this is boxing. Any fucking thing can happen.
Yeah, any given Saturday night, anything can happen.
Exactly. So I don't know. Look, there's options. There's Usyk, which is the number one option now, and then number two would be White. And then Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter's already tied up in it.
Why are you saying White? I think White should fight because White is an interim champ. I mean, he.
If he's given the call, he should take it. If he's given the call to do it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but Suleiman would have to say that I'm going to allow Dylan White to fight AJ for undisputed.
Dylan White to fight AJ for undisputed. Didn't he knock him out before?
Yeah, but that's 6 years ago.
Yeah, but so what?
And it would be a good sell.
They both got better. Yeah, it would be a good sell, but
I honestly
I see a repeat of what happened.
Yeah. Listen, man, I mean, all due respect to Dylan White, I truthfully do not see why people think anybody was afraid to fight Dylan White.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, I don't like, this narrative that people like Wilder was ducking White and Ortiz don't want to fight White. It's like, really? Dylan White? Like, I don't know what y'all see in this guy fighting skills. He's tough and he come forward a lot and he got a mean, body attack. Yeah, but
he's got a strong punch.
But he's not like, in 10 years, I'm not going to be remembering Dylan White as one of the greats of this era.
I would have liked to have seen a younger Luis Ortiz fight him.
Yeah.
Some of these other guys.
And I think that fight should be made. Ortiz versus, because when I looked at the rankings, right, Dylan White, obviously the interim champion. Wilder's ranked number 1. Ruiz is up there. Usyk is up there. But then Ortiz is like top 4 or 5. Ruiz ain't going to fight. I mean, it's either Ruiz or Ortiz. I don't know if Ruiz would fight White, but Ruiz or Ortiz is the ones that Dylan White could fight with, and that would make him some money. Joe Joyce, Joe Joyce is a possibility, but then that requires Eddie Hearn dealing with Frank Warren after this fiasco. I don't know if they're going to be wanting to do that so easily. But Joe Joyce could fight Joseph Parker now once Usyk fights for the title for the next mandatory spot.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't see too many fights for Dylan White that will. He's a pay-per-view guy now. He's gonna want to be on. You got to put somebody interested in there for him to be on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is he's a legend in his own mind right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys there should be matches to get up to the top. I mean, everybody's waiting on Fury and AJ, and now it's postponed more. It's crazy.
A tournament.
What are you gonna do?
A tournament. And it's the other thing. AJ and Fury had supposedly a 2-fight deal. If Wilder was to step aside and let the fight go on, he was going to have to wait for 2 fights, a whole nother year. Year and a half?
No way. And that's a big payday for Wilder. He needs to cash in now.
Yeah.
And he needs redemption too.
And that's the other thing. Like, let him get his comeback. I mean, I'm not an immediate rematch guy.
Yeah.
But Wilder did have the title for like 10 title defenses. So like there's exceptions. Like when Vladimir Klitschko was telling people they had to do rematches, he held the title for like 6-7 years when he started doing all of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that. You had the title 6-7 years. I want the first crack at that title that I just lost. It's understandable. But
that's what happened with Rockman, yeah.
Yeah, but when you had just got the title, like a fight before that one, and then you lose it, you want a rematch. Like, come on, man, that slows up everybody else, man.
I just think, I think really he's a fool, Wilder. He should have just said, look, I'll take the 20 million, I'll fight the winner. Or the winner, I'll step aside, and if you vacate the belt afterwards, I will fight for a vacant belt, fight of my choosing, and I'll fight the winner.
Nathan,
all of that. Already mentioned. There's no guarantee of that.
Right, there's no guarantee. Fury already dipped out of 2 of his rematches. Why trust Fury to honor his word again? He already dipped out of 2 on this guy, on Wilder. Not to mention he dipped out on Vladimir rematch.
So the only person who's hurt himself, if Fury's hurt himself, he's ruined a big payday because there's no guarantee he's going to win the rematch, is it? Again, exactly.
And mind you, ESPN, Bob Arum has to cover the fight for the rematch because that was part of the provision. The winner gets the main charge. It's going to be on ESPN. He's going to have to pay Wilder 40% of the pool. That's why he was trying to get that fight. He was hoping that arbitration went his way because he was like, okay, I could make my money back that I paid this guy.
So in essence, it was a Hail Mary pass.
Yeah, and it didn't work. He dropped it. Got intercepted by the arbitration. And people talk about like Wilder blocked it. Like Wilder, the arbitration was already in the process before the deal was finalized. So the arbitration was set in motion before they finalized the Undisputed. So if anything, essentially the Undisputed was holding up the trilogy.
There you go. Well, that's boxing.
Yeah, that's boxing.
Is there any more to talk about with this, or are we done with this? We keep talking about it.
I want to say this though. They went back and forth. Tyson Fury and AJ went back and forth on social media a little bit, talking about the bare knuckles and calling them a waistband. And he was like, "You talking about a bare knuckle?" AJ said, "You talking about bare knuckle? Want to fight bare knuckle? You wouldn't even fight." And he showed a clip of Billy Joe Saunders' pops being attacked at the fight and Tyson Fury just standing back, not doing anything. He said, you wouldn't even do anything to help your own homeboy. And it wasn't even and he was like, and it wasn't even the bouncer stopping you from gumming in. It was the barrier. So you let the barrier, like AJ was going in on Tyson. It's hilarious.
AJ seems that he's like, really nice guy, and there is a side of him, but there's another side of him that's just mean. He could be mean.
Yeah.
You could see.
I mean, listen, these guys are fighters. They probably all got to have that mean part of them at times.
Oh, the killer instinct, yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, personally, if I were to probably hanging out with Tyson Fury, I'd probably have loads of laughs in the room with him if he was drinking beers and stuff. Like, I don't think that he's an asshole person, so to speak. Pardon me on the YouTube, but I don't think he's a jerk.
Interesting. He's
right.
Interesting.
He, same thing with Wilder, same thing with a lot of these guys. Like, but I like people, so hey, I'm not a hater.
No, I don't. I'm not a hater either. What did you guys think of Neary and Figueroa?
Oh, it shocked everybody. Figueroa won. I mean, well, he was the underdog. I don't want to say it shocked everybody because it was supposed to be a good fight. So
right.
But Neary was the favorite to win. But yeah, that's a good one. I can't wait for the Stephen Fulton fight.
Uh-huh.
Because he's supposed to be fighting Stephen Fulton now.
Oh, he is. Well, that'll be good too. But we got a good one coming up this weekend, don't we? Don't we have?
Hell yeah, we got Taylor versus Ramirez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let me go to this card. I think this will probably be the last thing we talk about before Anderson. So Josh Taylor. Yeah.
Is that the only fight this weekend?
I'm not sure. I didn't look.
No. There, I could run them off for you right now, if you want. Hold on a second. We have Gonzalez and Torres on Friday. That's on Telemundo. Ramirez and Taylor. We have Sam Eddington and Carlos Molina on Sky Dome Arena, UK. That's what we have this weekend.
Okay.
And the next weekend we have Linares and Haney.
Easy fight, very easy fight.
And Donaire versus
Ubali, yeah.
Right, let's go to this. Sorry, carry on.
But there was another guy. What was it? Bautista Butazzi, who looked really good this weekend. Did you see that one?
No, but I did.
You talking about Joshua Buatsi?
Yeah,
Buatsi. That's what I said. Buatsi.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about this card. Let me quickly go to this card.
I go to the card.
Joshua.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Have a look quickly.
I think it was supposed to be away.
So Joshua Buatsi beats a very undermatched opponent.
Yeah, it was.
The guy's name was Daniel Dos Santos. And this man had a record of something like 20 wins, but all the people had losing records.
Yeah, we was talking about this, the preview of this fight. Buatsi, I mean, like it's hard to gauge versus these guys, So,
right.
Like I want to see him in with somebody else that's like on his same path.
Right. I think he's going to be a contender in the light heavyweight division, though.
Yeah, like I wouldn't mind seeing him fight
Callum Johnson.
Callum Johnson would be a good one. The dude that just fought Joe Smith. That dude might be too much for him. Hot Rod. Hot Rod could be a good one for him. Hot Rod fought Beterbiev a couple of fights back.
It's a shame Nathan Cleverley's not around because that would have given us a real gauge of how good he was.
That would have been another good one. Yep, somebody like that.
Jürgen Bremer is still about. So a fight against someone like Jürgen Bremer.
Yeah, he could do Bremer. He could bring somebody up from 168, maybe.
There are a lot of possibilities if he doesn't lose.
In other news, on that card, Tommy McCarthy wins the European belt. Lerone Richards beats Giovanni Di Corollis just about. And let's go to the Josh Taylor card. We've got 8 minutes left. So the Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
Carry on what you're saying.
Go ahead. No,
carry on what you're saying. Doesn't matter. Carry on.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we got Jack and Pascal. We got Zoo, who signed for Zafara. How do you pronounce his name? Zarafa.
Michael Zafira. Michael Zafira.
Oh, the dude from
Michael
Australia?
Zafira.
Yeah.
Zarafi.
Sue's son. Yeah.
Oh, he's fighting Zarafi?
Yeah.
What
that's good.
Zarafa,
that's good.
Yeah.
And that's next weekend. That's the following weekend.
Okay. Right, let's go to this weekend. Sorry, Karen. Was there anything else?
Okay, go ahead. This weekend's fights. What about him?
Josh Taylor will be fighting a unification fight for the super lightweight title.
Undisputed.
It's going to be undisputed. That's going to be a close fight. I'm hard pressed to pick a winner for this one. What do you guys think?
I would have picked. Go ahead, Nathan.
I think Josh Taylor's going to destroy him in about 6 or 7 rounds. Now, what I've seen in Ramirez, he didn't look great against Maurice Hooker at all.
Yeah. Ramirez is going to win.
But I don't see that.
I
don't think.
I know you don't see it, but I'm gonna just tell you why I'm picking it. Because for whatever reason, these past 2 years in the British-Mexican War, y'all been losing a lot of battles that y'all should not have been losing. So,
you cheeky
like Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington came around, and Josh at that, the name Josh hasn't been looking too good either.
No,
Warrington,
you know what?
Kelly.
I'll tell you the difference. Josh Taylor has an immense amateur background. He's a quality fighter, one of the best fighters to ever come to Scotland. He will just do a number on Ramirez, and I believe it'll only last about 6-7 rounds. He'll deck him.
I mean, truth be told, he gave a lot of rounds to Prograis.
Yeah,
and if he gave a lot of rounds to Prograis, Ramirez might be able to catch up with him. Now, truth be told, I think Taylor's more skillful than Ramirez.
Yeah. And he punches.
Like if side by side, I think Taylor's more skillful than Ramirez. But like I said, I thought in these other fights, these dudes that lost were more skillful than the guys they lost to, and those guys were no hope.
Josh Taylor has the heart of a lion. Bridges Progress is a better fighter than Ramirez. I think.
Possible.
Well,
and I believe that Josh Taylor will not be denied. I'm telling you, he's not like the British fighters. He's got something they haven't got.
Well, he's got skill.
He's got something else.
He's got skills. He's got punching power.
Believe me, he will do a number on Ramirez. So I'm going to say 6 rounds.
I think
soon.
What Spencer's saying is that there's a sombrero curse over.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, there is. But not this time. Things are going to be different this time.
Yeah, y'all getting closer to Mexico too.
You know what? You motherfucker.
The other ones y'all lost at home, so maybe that being a difference. Maybe that one's the difference.
Let's be honest. Josh Warrington is faded. That Josh
Warrington. Hold up. Don't knock Josh Warrington. He was rated either 1 or 2 at the time that he lost.
And who was James Tennyson? James Tennyson is a guy who was barely British level.
Yeah. Kelly.
Josh Kelly.
Well,
we won't talk about it.
Well, the odds are there.
I need to talk about it.
The odds are minus 265 on Taylor and plus 188 on Ramirez.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet on Ramirez only because he's the underdog. I don't have confidence in that bet, but
I am so sick of Mexicans and Mexican fighters. I'm so sick of Ramirez. So he gets 2 belts because he beats a guy who was never that good in the first place. Come on.
Who was that? Postall?
Maurice Hooker was never that good.
Oh, Maurice Hooker, yeah.
He's just a belt holder who got lucky in the right place at the right time.
Wait, who didn't he beat Terry Flanagan? I know.
Who was Terry Flanagan? Who did he ever fight? Nobody. He got handed those belts because Frank Warren had such a good relationship with the WBO.
Yeah, listen. Ramirez fought a string of fighters. They weren't at the top. He questionably lost to Zepeda. So I get you. Ramirez has not been looking good. Bob Arum cheated Prograis out of the fight, letting Ramirez fight Prograis. So, because Prograis was supposed to fight Ramirez when Ramirez got the title. Yeah. And then, anyway, it's another story. So I get it. Ramirez is not the better boxer. He's not the more skillful one. And you know what? I'm going to go with Taylor, but I think I'm going to go with him not that soon, 6 or 7. I think Ramirez can last longer than that.
I've seen
maybe the champion. I think it'll go at least until the championship rounds.
I would give the edge to Taylor. He has a higher knockout percentage ratio, and he has that amateur background. So, I mean, logically, he should win, but we don't know. We don't know what kind of pressure Ramirez is going to put on him.
Right.
Before we go,
it's styles, It's
okay.
styles.
Before we go, For anybody wanting a good laugh, watch the Manuel Charr Chris Lovejoy fight and watch the cartwheel at the end. Best part of the fight.
Yeah, the failed cartwheel.
I was about to say it ain't really a cartwheel. It's like a cart something else.
So we sign off.
It wasn't
Chris
a wheel.
Lovejoy, TBE. Chris Lovejoy.
Yes.
The best ever.
Yeah, that's funny.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, guys. We're done.
My pleasure.
We're done here.
All right, man.
Thank you, people. We'll be back
All right, later, man.
on whenever. We'll be back next week.
Good
Bye.
show, man. Later, y'all.
See you later, guys.
Later.
Bye.